The following presentation is brought to you by American Legion, Post 416, Greendale, Wisconsin. Veterans of Foreign Wars, VFW, Post 10, 519, Greendale, Wisconsin. Disabled American Veterans, DAV, Chapter 19, West Allis, Wisconsin. Machinery and Welder Corporation, West Allis, Wisconsin. And by viewers like you.
From the global resources of Veterans Media Services. This is Veterans Newsline with Dave Ryba.
Welcome to the show today, everybody. Today we are at the Milwaukee County War Memorial for a tribute to Vietnam veterans. And joining me now is the Reverend Stubbe. Reverend Stubbe, what type of event can we expect? What kind of things can we expect to see at today's event?
Well, I think you'll see a lot of caring people who, after all these years, it's almost 50 years now, still care enough to remember their buddies, their fallen, and care enough for each other and the mothers and sisters and so on that'll be here, and it's really a loving community, just like we had over there between ourselves at the time. We can't think of Marines and soldiers, 19-year-olds loving, but really at that time we just cared for each other, and we continue to care.
Sure. And I believe today we're going to have a couple of things going on. One thing is a reading of different letters from people perhaps that got letters from Vietnam, and perhaps something else. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, we'll have some, I believe we're going to have some letters written by guys who were in Vietnam, and our Wisconsin Veterans Museum, I believe, is the one that has gathered a lot of these, and it's really it gives the feeling of the tone of how people felt at the time, and what was on their minds, and really how deep some of these youngsters really were able to think and feel. And I think we're going to have Joe Campbell, who's one of our big veterans here. His granddaughter, probably, he drove me down here with his granddaughter, and I think we're going to invigorate her to sing the national anthem. She does very well. She sang it at the Flag Day last year, and she has perfect pitch for a little kid. I mean, it's just it's really an inspiration to hear it. And I think we're going to just hear some very inspiring people talking. I assume we're going to have some good thoughts, things to remember, things to inspire us, and that's what we're going to have today. It's going to be a good time, a good warm time.
All right. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us, Reverend.
Well, thank you, and thank you for your part in all of this and caring. We need to keep reminding people that so many people did so much, and at the time we weren't really all that welcome, but because of Vietnam vets, we have a Vietnam Memorial in DC. We have one right here in Veterans Park. We have we gotten benefits that Iraq and Afghanistan vets benefit from. We've paved the way for caring for a lot of other people, so it's good, and we still care.
It's my pleasure. We enjoy doing this thing, and we enjoy bringing it to the folks that are watching at home. So now we're going to go in and take a look at today's event, but before we do, our roving reporter Greg West is out there asking a few of the veterans who attended today's event their thoughts on things. Greg?
Thank you, Dave. I'm here with Bill Gorowski, the Veteran of the Year, and we're at the War Memorial Center for Veterans, Vietnam Veterans Day. Bill, what did you think of today's turnout?
I think the turnout was great, but it could have been better. I'm happy that a lot of these guys took the time out of their life to come to this event. They had an event on the 25th of March, Medal of Honor Day, with Gary Wetzel, and it was about the same amount of people. It was an excellent turnout. I just wish the people, the non-servers in the city would have came and found out what it was all about. You don't have to share war stories. You just have to share the experience. I think it helps everyone. It's like this war memorial. The veterans give. They give during war, and they give after wars. And they don't stop giving until it's time to see their maker. I believe this city and this county and state are great. They're lousy drivers, but they're great. I just wish that we could get this out to the young people, the schools and that, what Vietnam veterans are all about. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill, and thank you for your service. Back to you, Dave.
All right, thank you, Greg, for that wonderful report. Now, let's take a look at today's event.
Before we start, as with all programs, please stand with Catherine and her grandpa, Joe. We will sing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous light o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets went clear, both one bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does the star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Almighty God, you know us to be set in the midst of so many and great dangers, that by reason of the frailty of our situation we cannot always stand upright. Give us such strength and protection as may support us in all dangers and carry us through all temptations. And it seems appropriate then, and it seems appropriate now. And basically what I said about Jesus coming to seek was that God is always with us. We might not be aware of that, experience that, because Jesus is asleep. But we awake the Lord in our troubles, and the Lord is able to do something and give us this great calm as we care for each other. God's presence sort of becomes active in our lives as we care for one another and share. And those people at Quezon, those Marines and corpsmen and so on, airmen, were doing just that. They were in these bunkers. We were down to one sea ration a day, one canteen cup of water a day, if that. And that's why also that weight. By the way, the battlefield diet really does work, but I don't recommend it. It has too many adverse side effects. But anyway, these people were, sometimes people have asked me, called me and said, where was God in all of this? And I say, well, remember how we all shared our food with one another, and I said, and our water, and Jesus once said, if you give it to the least of these, my brothers, if you feed the hungry, if you give water to the thirsty, you have done it unto me. And so God becomes active as we care for one another. And basically that's my prayer for us today, that God would give us the sensitivity to be aware of other people's problems and needs, and also that we have the strength and courage to do it. So God bless you all, and may God keep us all.
But at this time, I'd like to follow up the POW MIA with, I was thinking about using first names. I think I'm going to be a little bit more diplomatic and say, Miss Syjan, would you please come up here and say a few words on POW MIA?
In my little neighborhood, I'm back in my family home in Bayview. Oftentimes I go to Starbucks, and something has happened at Starbucks. In the drive-thru, people are paying it forward. So we drive through, we get up to the window, they say, the guy ahead of you paid for yours. And then I pay for the person behind me and the person. That little thing makes my day so incredible. I feel like giving more. And when I give, I am calling in the Holy Spirit, because that is what God is. He's giving. He gives, we receive. It's up to us to receive. Take the barbed wire off, take the concrete off, take everything off that has protected you against feeling and remembering. Let it go. I had to practice it myself. I didn't understand why I didn't have to go through all that. You went through it. Why did I get to live my life running through a daisy field? Really, it wasn't. I had so much heaviness and loss that I couldn't live my own life, and that certainly didn't honor and respect not only God, but my brother, my beloved brother Lance. He would never, ever want me to feel that pain. So for those who have lost children, parents, friends in the battlefield, honor and respect them. Pay it forward. Open a car door. Load somebody's groceries. It doesn't have to be monetary. It can be anything. But help our kids learn what you knew. Service before self. If 1% of the nation is in the military, and we could get that idea out to the rest of the world, can you imagine the world we have? Full of service, full of love, full of commitment, honor, integrity, all those words, you know. I don't have to tell any of you those words. But our children need to know them. They're lost. They've lost their North Star. We have beautiful children, intelligent children, loving children, but a lot of them are needing a North Star. You could be their North Star. If you cut that heat behind you and you just drop it and let it go. Again, not easy to do, but you will feel relieved. You will live in the present. And all that you did will have greater meaning. This is life now. Pay it forward in some ways. Show our children what we're trying to do. God bless you and love you all. Thank you for being my new family.
The young lady here talked about the sacrifices of her living in a free society. A lot of us that wore the proud uniform of the United States of America know what sacrifices are. We can look at that American flag and not just only look at it, but look into it and kind of remember the sacrifices men and women have given you and I to be here. I don't know why they picked this day to commemorate the Vietnam War. We all know that the last person left April 30th, 1975. But we look at who we were back then, and we're still the same person now. The only thing is that we got some more years on our bodies, and God willing, a little bit more wisdom. I just want to thank you for letting me share this day with my brothers. I love you guys, and we all know that there's a lot of unsung heroes in the battlefield, and I'm extremely honored after all these years to still have the privilege to wear this blue ribbon around my neck. But each and every one of you have to know that I work for all of us. I was just a soldier doing the job, and after all these years, I still love this great nation. God bless you.
Come up here and read some letters from home. This program is, like I said, informal, because in Vietnam we were informal. We reacted with utmost speed, and sometimes we didn't with utmost results. So who would like to be the first one up here?
Dick Kowicki, letters from Vietnam. It is set to be page 106. Hi, Mom, Dad, and all. I just received your letter. The days are getting longer, so it seems. It won't be too long, I'll be back home again. I'm so anxious to get back home that it isn't even funny. I'm so happy that Dad ordered my car, and I can't wait to see it. Thank you, Dad. I'm so very proud of you. And really, Dad, you're the greatest. It's hard. Sometimes it's rough. It's hard to sleep, eat, or even write anymore. This place has definitely played hell with us. It's been a long, hard road, Mom and Dad. I think I've proven myself so far. I know you all have great confidence in me, and I know I can do a job assigned to me. I've engaged with the Viet Cong and hardcore so many times I've lost track of them. I've got a right to boast a little because I know I was right in getting the licks, just like other good Marines have done and are doing and always will. But long hours of sweat and blood in the soil, and we will do our best to give these people freedom. Also protect America from communism. I only wish I could do something to encourage the boys that are burning their draft cards to stand up and take responsibility for the country, family, and friends. You can't defeat communism by turning your backs or burning your draft cards. Anyone who does it is a disgrace in plain yellow. They haven't the guts to back up their fathers and forefathers before them. Their lives have gone to waste, but the sons today are too afraid to face the facts. There, I've said what's been on my mind. I hope this doesn't bore you, but I just had to put it down on paper. Mom, Dad, and kids, whenever the national anthem is being played, whether over TV, radio, or at a game, please stand up, show your patriotism. After all, I'm not fighting for nothing. Am I? We got to have a flag also. Do we have one? Dad, try in every way, whether little or big, to push a little of patriotism kick into Bob and Ron. Please. Also, religion. Go to Mass. Goodbye for now, and God bless you all. I love you all. Doug.
We have seen hell, and we don't want anybody else going there. And that's why the Vietnam veterans have taken the leadership, to make sure that our Afghan and Iraqi vets are never treated the way we were. Thank God for the Vietnam vets. Many of you from Milwaukee may know of Alan Lewis. in June of 2003. He's from Milwaukee. An IED took out both of his legs. In November of 2003, he walked up the stage at Wisconsin Lutheran High School with 2 canes. And he thanked the Vietnam vets for giving him that courage and that desire to go on. We, Vietnam vets, the ones they couldn't throw enough shit at and made us ashamed. But how do we get over it? Well, at the end of the movie Saving Private Ryan, which I'm sure almost everyone has seen, Private Ryan is at the graveyard, the grave cemetery in France or wherever it was, kneeling at the grave, and his wife of so many years comes over and taps him on the shoulder, and he gets up and asks her, "Please tell me that I lived a good life." That was the dying wish of his captain. Live a good life. As Janine shared about her father passing and then winding up in a lawn chair with a couple beers and watching the Green Bay Packers, and wanting us never, don't weep for me. I lived my life, I did my best, and I love my God, and I am with him. In the movie Platoon, pathetic. One of the worst tributes, if you will, to the Vietnam veteran that I ever saw. And yet everyone in this room knows that everything that happened in that 2 hours and 10 minutes at some point in time did happen. But those that watched it have no knowledge, came back with a pretty crappy, I gotta watch my language, my granddaughter's here. But at the end of the movie, the best thing that I have ever heard, Charlie Sheen, whoever he was in the movie, is up in a helicopter and they're having a talk over it. And most of the time, if you watch it, they're showing the transcripts, so you really don't get to pick up on it. But it goes like this. The war is over for us now, but it will always be there for the rest of our days. That doesn't sound too promising. However, those of us that made it, brothers and sisters, have an obligation to build again. And that's what we've been doing. The Patriot Guard Riders, all these wonderful things that have gone on. We protected the Afghan Iraqi vets' funerals from some lunatics. We honor them when they come home. Make the best, those of us that made it have an obligation to build again. And we have done that, and we continue to do it. And then we must try with the rest of our life to find a goodness and a meaning to this life. Our brothers that gave the ultimate price would want nothing less. Nothing less. We have a right to smile. We have a right to be proud. We have a right to serve and continue to serve. And the more we get out of ourselves, the more we get out of ourselves.
It's my privilege to read the names of the 37 who were unaccounted for when we came back from the Vietnam War. While some of these people have since been accounted for, we still acknowledge the group of 37 who were not accounted for at the end of the conflict. When I read the names, a black balloon will be released for each of these people out on the plaza. Michael John Allard, Merlin Ray Allen, William Tam Arnold, Norman Carl Billop, Thomas Blackman, Richard Lee Bowers, Robert Ira Bush, Paul David Derby, Donald William Downey, Walter Frank Drager Jr., William Anthony Evans, Charles R. Falens, Edwin James Fickler, Richard William Fisher, Paul Reed Fraser, Donald Lewis Gallagher, Paul S. G., William D. Gorsuch, John Francis Hartzheim, Richard J. Hentz, Raymond Thomas Heine, Roy Arthur Huss, Randall L. Johnson, James Allen Ketterer, Roy Robert Cooley, James David LaHaye, David Leverett Leet, Todd Melton, Harold John Moe, William C. Pearson, Dale W. Richardson, Peter Alden Schmidt, Dwayne Soler, Albert Raymond Trudeau, James Neil Tides, James Lee Van Bendigan, and Robert Frederick
And that's it for this edition of Veterans Newsline. Join us again next time for more veterans news and events from southeastern Wisconsin. Until next time, I'm Dave Ryba. Thanks for watching.